Hello and welcome to News Tonight. I am Rhoda Ngonzi on sign language, Elizabeth Nakakoni. Let's take a look at the top stories. President Museveni empowers NRM mobilizers, donates poverty alleviation assortments. Prime Minister Nabanja concerned over climate change. While government officials directed to use Uganda Airlines. And in sports, CAF affirms East African bid of Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania to host the 2027 AFCON. Hello once more. More than 5,000 young individuals participating in the Presidential Skills Development Initiative for both girls and boys have recently undergone assessment conducted by the Directorate of Industrial Training. Now, this initiative, spearheaded by coordinator Serugo Moses Sunday, is designed to foster socio-economic development through job creation.
Sunday, while emphasizing the initiative's aim of reducing unemployment and enhancing opportunities for rural youth, has shared that at least 5,500 participants from 9 presidential skills development initiative centers in Wandegeya, Wabigalo, Mutundwe, Chigowa, Mulago, Chikoni, Nakulabye, Luzira and Sabwe have completed their assessments. They are now equipped to contribute to economic growth by offering their skills in areas such as motor vehicle mechanics, welding, bricklaying, plumbing, carpentry, domestic installation, weaving, bakery, knitting and more.
We train these people in 6 months. After 6 months, we hand over to DIT for assessment and certification. These children is able to do everything because we have the professional people who are there, who are training them. And in only 6 months, they are able to do everything.
Serugo Moses Sunday has highlighted that this initiative enjoys the support of State House and all unemployed youth are encouraged to join. Additionally, Ashraf Rusiba, senior verifier at the Directorate of Industrial Training, noted that those who have been assessed and certified will receive certificates that will enable them to compete in international job markets.
People are being trained for a given period of time and we are assessing them in level 1. However, there are other levels that they can upgrade to. That is level 2, level 3 and level 4. Their equivalences are advanced certificate, even diplomas.
Center administrators have praised the transformative impact of these acquired skills on the youths and their communities.
They've already started benefiting because they have started making money. That means that they have already started benefiting, and in the near future they are just going to be very rich.
Have learned more skills, and after here they are going to create their own jobs, because starting a skill does not mean a lot of capital.
The youths have expressed their appreciation for the program, recognizing that it equips them with valuable lifelong skills.
This course is really good, great. I've learned many things so I can connect to water. I thank our president, our administration for this opportunity.
I'm Nafka Farida and Henry Muganga.
And our Prime Minister Rhoda Ngonzi has expressed concern over the ongoing climate change impacts that affect numerous people. She emphasized the necessity of for green investments to conserve the environment. This concern was voiced during the celebration of World Tourism Day 2023 held in Hoima under the theme Tourism and Green Investments. However, the Ministry of Tourism urges government leaders to attract more investments in the tourism sector, specifically targeting green investments.
Left, right, body shot,
Uganda joined the global celebration of World Tourism Day 2023 with the main festivities taking place in Hoima City, aiming to attract more opportunities in the Bunyoro region. The Prime Minister, Rhoda Ngonzi, praised the development partners for their tireless efforts and financial contributions to wildlife conservation, which have enhanced local tourist destinations and attracted more tourists.
The figures from the Uganda Tourism Board show that before COVID-19, in 2019, Uganda received over 1.5 million tourists and earned US dollars 1.6 billion from tourism. The sector also created over 1.5 million jobs and contributed 7.7% of our gross domestic product.
The Prime Minister expressed concerns about the ongoing impacts of climate change affecting numerous people and emphasized the need for green investments to conserve the environment.
We cannot let all our wetlands and forests to get distracted when we are looking, and therefore destroying the environment means destroying a home for our beautiful wildlife and plants. Destroying the environment means destroying one of the major sources of revenue for our country.
The Minister for Tourism, Tom Butime, emphasized the importance of a tourism investment strategy as a means to revitalize Uganda's tourism sector, which was severely impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Government is also working around the clock to construct quality infrastructure to support the sector. However, this is not enough. There are still a number of concerns that need to be fully addressed together with other players from other sectors if we are to enjoy the much needed tourism fruits.
It is an opportunity that brings the different stakeholders in the industry together, and the general public gets to be informed of what is going on, the trend of what is going on.
Local residents in Hoima City have requested the Ministry of Tourism to establish a Kabalega monument.
We need also the road unit. We need to see how we are going to have a processing plant for garbage, because what we have is already filled up, but also as a city we are planning to buy a new place.
During the same event, the Prime Minister donated a new Land Cruiser ambulance to Hoima Regional Referral Hospital for patient transportation. UNDP representative Lukman Patel noted significant developments in the global tourism sector and called upon the private sector to collaborate, facilitating the full recovery of the tourism sector. I'm Navka Farida and Sulaka Gugube.
And the National Resistance Movement NRM chairperson and President Yoweri Museveni has donated assortments for small-scale income startups for NRM grassroots mobilizers. The assortments include sewing machines, bricklaying machines, hairdressers, and spraying machines. Hajat Adija Namyalo, the caretaker of the President's office, handed over the items to the NRM mobilizers at the office premises in Chambogo.
Fighting poverty among homesteads and empowering women and the youth is top on agenda in the NRM manifestation. President Yoweri Museveni, through his Extension Party office situated in Chambogo, a Kampala suburb, has been donating assortments to various people to empower them economically. NRM mobilizers from various parts of the country today converged at the President's Extension office in Chambogo to pick various equipment again donated by the President to start small businesses for survival.
We want our mobilizers, our pressure groups to get something. A startup to be in position to feed their families. That's why we are gathered here, because an angry person can't do mobilization.
Hajat Hadija Namialo, the caretaker of President Museveni's Chambogo NRM Extension Office, urged the beneficiaries to use their assortments appropriately.
Let us utilize this opportunity as a startup. I know for me, I don't have the millions to avail. Mzee might not have the millions to avail at the moment, but at least you have the machine that is going to be a startup.
With the donations, Some NRM mobilizers are determined to step up the fight against poverty, despite earlier reports that the party had not done much to help them in the fight against poverty.
And we have managed to receive something. It has been not there since we started supporting our party, NRM. But so far now we are seeing a very big improvement since this madam entered the office.
Here we have got a welding machine, that's a torch and this battery alongside a popcorn machine. First and foremost, we thank the president and the government. How? One, they have recognized the ghetto people. Two, they have put up another platform for the ghetto people.
More than 80 mobilization groups, among them farmers, mechanics, slum youth and hairdressers, benefited from the presidential package.
It is first of its kind, so we are so happy, and we are happy for the way Ajat is handling things. We are happy for His Excellency Yoweri Museveni to consider the mobilization.
Mary Namkose, Joseph Muyingo, UBC News.
Cabinet has reached a resolution and issued a directive that mandates all government officials traveling abroad to exclusively utilize Uganda Airlines for their international trips. This announcement was made by the ICT Minister, Dr. Rhoda Ngonzi, at Media Center.
Mandatory that the government officials must travel with Uganda Airlines.
Dr. Rhoda Ngonzi emphasized that the government has been incurring substantial expenses to support its officials during foreign travels. In an effort to curtail these costs, Cabinet has now instructed all government officials intending to travel abroad to opt for Uganda Airlines.
For public servant whose travel is being supported or facilitated by government, and where you are going, the route you are taking, there is Uganda Airlines flying that route, then mandatorily you should fly Uganda Airlines.
Cabinet has also resolved to enhance sports facilities in schools by constructing numerous sports grounds at zonal and regional level.
We are going to put resources to make sure that we have facilities that promote sports, but also mobilize Ugandans to take sporting activities as a key priority. For instance, we did agree that in the school system, every school must have a playground.
Dr. Rhoda Ngonzi, the Minister for ICT and National Guidance, revealed that an additional 1 billion Ugandan shillings will be allocated to all districts to facilitate the rehabilitation of Maram roads. He emphasized that these funds should not be diverted to the creation of new roads.
Starting this financial year, we made a provision in the budget to give every district 1 billion shillings over and above the provision of the road fund to assist the districts to maintain the Maram roads. And we got reports that in some districts, they are going to use like the 1 billion to open only 20 kilometers of a road. And we are saying no.
Furthermore, the government is planning to conduct a national population census on May 10, 2024. The census will be conducted door to door and will span 10 days.
We are going to use a method called the de facto method. The de facto method, you mark a census night. So now the night of 9th leading to 10th shall be the census night. So we mark one night as a reference point, and then we count people who spend the night in Uganda on that night. And the enumeration will take a period of like 10 days.
Minister Rhoda Ngonzi also touched upon various other topics, including the delegation sent to the United Nations, which has garnered significant attention on numerous social media platforms.
It is not true that that list which was published, that all of them traveled. But also, there were 3 meetings. There was a meeting in Juba, then there was the UN General Assembly, then there was a meeting on SDGs.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
Now, the final batch of the Lord's Resistance Army rebels and their families who were repatriated from Central African Republic will arrive back in Uganda tomorrow, Thursday. According to the Defense Deputy Spokesperson, Kanodewa Kiki, the government through the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs is grateful to all parties involved in these final stages of bringing an end to the LRA insurgents.
Since 2006, when LRA fighters could not stand the pressure of the UPDF in northern Uganda and some parts of southern Sudan, they moved further through the jungles of DRC. You remember Operation Lightning Thunder. We hit them from DRC, and they moved further into areas in Central African Republic. We followed them in areas of Obo and so on and so forth until they got lost into the community, but later on, through United Nations, through other agencies, and through the government of Central African Republic, they were able to gather themselves into a place called Imboki. Today and tomorrow, we are yet receiving the final batch of LRA ex-combatants, the women and children. We are having one batch coming in today, and tomorrow we're having another batch, which will make a total of 67 personnel coming. And we shall have a reception at the Entebbe airport and have a function there to officially communicate to the world and to Uganda that this repatriation exercise has ended, so that we move on to other levels of rehabilitation, reintegration and resettlement into the community. And this will mark the end of the LRA conflict, because unless you go through that DRR program, you cannot say that the conflict has fully ended. So we are to the tail end of ending the LRA insurgency.
Meanwhile, in Karamoja sub-region, joint security forces are actively conducting operations to remove the Turkana Kenyan nationals from the area. This effort is in response to a presidential directive issued in the wake of the killings of geologists and UPDF soldiers early last year.
Brigadier General Felix Bosizori, the second in command of 3rd Division, explained during a community peace dialogue held at Katikekire Parish in Tapak Sub-County, Moroto District, that this operation aims to fulfill the presidential directive. The evictions are to continue until those responsible for the tragic incidents are brought to justice. Currently, these operations are taking place in Kabong District as well as in Naputi, Magosi and Nauti in Moroto District.
We are carrying out security operations to flush out to the Turkanas who enter Uganda illegally.
Furthermore, the joint security forces, consisting of the Uganda Police and the Uganda People's Defense Forces, have engaged with the Tepeth community in Tapak Sub-County, Moroto District, to foster peaceful coexistence among communities. Security authorities have reported a significant reduction in cattle raids in the region, dropping from 150 raids in June to just 11 in September. However, locals express concerns about the threats posed by Turkana and Pokots from neighboring Kenya.
They come here, they just take animals because we don't have any country to guide us. They just come when they're here. So we were requesting our government to bring soldiers to at least stay along our border.
Security officials outline their strategies to address cross-border insecurity.
They deployed at the border posts, except in some areas where we cannot access water. It's very hard to maintain deployments for a long time, so we keep conducting patrol.
That we enhance on this community mobilization, because it is the point where we are able to deliver all what we feel that can be some of the solutions of the criminality in this region.
Nevertheless, questions arise regarding the fate of Ugandans of Turkana descent.
Yes, from them, they have been peaceful. For us, we are looking for the criminals, those who participate in the criminal activities, in raids, and also who participate in selling guns.
Brigadier General Busizori states that they are in discussions with leaders from Turkana and West Pokot in Kenya to address criminal activities at the borders. Moroto Deputy Resident District Commissioner Justin Tukosam and Tepeth County Member of Parliament Albert Lokoru report that many Karakanas are voluntarily embracing peace.
Alone, we have about 4 Karachunas who recently brought back their gun. The Karachuna resolved to stay and to live harmoniously and peacefully with their neighbors.
Residents commend the security forces in Karamoja for their dedicated efforts to restore peace in the region. According to security forces, 40 guns have been recovered from Turkana and 27 out of the 61 cows stolen in Bulambuli district in Sebei sub-region were retrieved in Nairobi, Kenya, over the last 3 months. I'm Nafka Farida and Moriniga.
Now, the Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, Honorable Francis Mwebesa, has underscored the need for import substitution to conserve foreign exchange for other critical priorities. The minister was unveiling Tembo Steel Mills Limited's latest innovation, the TMX Rivers, which now incorporates cutting-edge German technology. The manufacturing facility is located in Lugazi, near Kampala.
The introduction of German technology into the production process of TMX Rivers has elevated their quality and durability significantly. Minister Mwebesa, during the unveiling ceremony, emphasized the importance of implementing mechanisms that enable local consumption of this high-quality product.
We have promoted the industrialization of this country by adding value to local materials. And you should be thanked. And this was in line with His Excellency the President's thinking, as I said, of buying export of iron ore. But you came up and you went ahead in a way of manufacturing sponge iron, which is a technology that is acceptable worldwide and which is a very big technology in a country like India.
State Minister for Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, David Bahati, congratulated Tembo Steel Mills Limited for their pioneering innovation with TMX Rivers.
TMX here is going to be produced using sponge steel, while others are using imported billets. Isn't that so? I think that makes a huge difference, that we are using our own raw materials to produce this, while other people in the sector are going to be using imported.
This technological infusion has firmly positioned Tembo Steel Mills as a front runner in delivering robust and enduring steel solutions. State Minister for Investment and Privatization, Evelyn Anite, said the production efficiency of Tembo Steel's TMX Rivers underscores the company's commitment to environmental sustainability.
Now, with the introduction of the steel like this, the engineers, the architects, we are very sure that with TMX we'll be able to build buildings that can withstand any storm that will hit our country.
Mr. Sanjay Awas, chair of Tembo Steel Mills, emphasized their dedication to environmental responsibility.
This beautiful product has surpassed our own expectation by attaining the perfect blend of high strength and higher ductility, which is often regarded as conflicting properties in metallurgical terminology.
The incorporation of German technology has elevated their quality and durability, making them a preferred choice for construction projects. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
And on the Ministry of Works and Transport, in collaboration with the World Resources Institute and Ugandan civil society organizations dedicated to road safety, have embarked on a united mission to prevent accidents involving school children in proximity to their educational institutions. Diverse stakeholders in the realm of road and transport safety, including representatives from civil society organizations, Ministry of Works, traffic police and local government authorities, have convened at Kampala Golf Course Hotel. Their purpose to deliberate on the path forward and the challenges associated with this innovative approach.
Despite combined efforts by the government, civil society and the private sector to introduce road signs and pedestrian crossings to mitigate speed-related accidents near schools throughout the country, the menace of reckless driving and excessive speeding continues to persist. These incidents have resulted in the loss of young lives within the vicinity of these schools, with the majority being school children. To address this crisis, stakeholders in road and transport safety from the Ministry of Works and Transport, World Resources Institute, traffic police, civil society organizations, and other government agencies convened at the Kampala Golf Course Hotel to deliberate on the way forward and confront the challenges of establishing safety zones around schools in Uganda.
Very new initiative for me. It's really excellent. And I like the entry point, schools. And that's where things start.
We are here as advocates to speak for the children, to call upon the government and the school directors, owners, and all and the government to ensure all our children are safe in schools.
SP Mike Kananura, spokesman of Uganda Traffic Police, and Sharifa Muzeki, Commissioner of Human Resources at the Ministry of Education, acknowledged that the government has initiated measures to tackle this issue.
We have a program for schools and basically for primary schools where we go and sensitize these children on road safety.
We have provided for them walking distance from home to school for a child, but what we did not vividly look at is the speed.
Robert Kasolo, Vice Chairperson of the Parliamentary Forum on Road Safety, and Winston Katushabe, Commissioner for Transport Regulation and Road Safety, commended civil society members for spearheading this pioneering initiative.
They do thorough research and they really analyze these situations and they make thorough presentation to us, which presentation usually informs us.
Picked a lot from this workshop as government will go back, review, and engage you more.
Crispus Arinitwe, Juko Collins, UBC News.
And the High Court Civil Division has granted former NSSF Managing Director Richard Byarugaba permission to amend his application by adding Patrick Ayota as a respondent in the case. This amendment allows Patrick Ayota to address allegations made against him by Richard Byarugaba.
The case is recently before Judge Musa Sekano of the Civil Division of the High Court. Richard Byarugaba, the former managing director of NSSF, filed this application to challenge Minister of Gender Betty Amongi's refusal to reappoint him as the managing director of NSSF for the third term. The case also names the Attorney General as the respondent. While the case resumed for hearing, Richard Byarugaba's legal team, led by Basila Anthony, requested court for permission to amend the application by including NSSF Managing Director Patrick Ayota. Lawyers from the Attorney General's chambers objected, citing that this will infringe on Patrick Ayota's rights, who had not yet been heard by this court. However, Judge Musa Sekana overruled the Attorney General's objection, granting permission to add Patrick Ayota to the case.
This court, in the interest of justice, directs that applicant can make the necessary amendments and accordingly add Mr. Patrick Ayota, who is likely to be affected by the decision of the court. The applicant shall file an amended application by 28 September. Responding and the new party shall file their response within 2 weeks, i.e. 11th October.
Court also directed parties to file written submissions. Richard Byalugaba, in filing this case, wants court to invalidate the recommendations made on 17th August 2023 by the NSSF Board of Directors to appoint Patrick Ayota as his successor. He also aims at challenging the decision made by Minister of Gender and Labour to appoint Ayota, alleging that their actions were illegal. Richard Byalugaba's troubles started following a report from the IGG's office regarding the mismanagement of NSSF funds during his tenure, along with his former Director of Finance, Stephen Mwanje. The IGG's office ordered the two to refund over 5 billion Ugandan shillings, which resulted from losses during their time in office. Byalugaba vowed to challenge the report, claiming it was unfair. These issues, among others, led Minister Betty Amongi not to reappoint Richard Byalugaba for the third term as the Managing Director of NSSF, pending his intention to challenge the IGG's report. Court has set 12th October 2023 for the next mention of the case. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
And with that, we take a quick break. We'll return with more details. This is News Tonight.
Water, please. Can I pay with Momo? No. Hey, can I pay with Momo?
Here's our merchant code.
Very good.
7 maker?
20. Can I pay with Momo?
Unfortunately, no.
Baby, let's go.
When paying with MTN Momo comes with more benefits for everyone, it just doesn't make sense not to have it.
Hello, I have come for rent.
Can I pay with Momo?
Yes, you can.
Pay or shop with MTN Momo and get cashback every week. It's free of charge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
In this family, we can't agree on anything.
Martha.
We can't even agree on what to watch. All the games to play.
Martha.
Ndowoza Mulabi, we can't even agree on what to eat. At least the one thing for now we can all agree on is the soap to use. He likes that it's big and lasts long. Anti-economy. I like that it keeps my skin smooth. Ate alina echovu. And the children like that. It smells amazing. Everyone is happy. Movit soap comes in 4 fantastic flavors. Movit family soap is truly soap for the whole family.
Movit. All day confidence.
What's the best kind of business to invest in? One that connects Ugandans border to border with high-speed broadband 4G and is the first to launch 5G? What about one of the largest corporate income taxpayers in our country? Oh, the fastest growing telecom in the last 5 years. Wow! Well, here's a chance to invest in it all. Take part in Airtel's initial public offering today for as little as 100 Ugandan shillings per share. Remember, a retail investor gets 5 incentive shares for every 100 they buy and 6 incentive shares if they purchase using Airtel Money. Dial *185*85# now to get started.
Tata ni Mama Sarah.
Wanji?
We did all we could. Naye we couldn't save her. I'm sorry. You brought her in very late. Malaria destroyed her organs and reduced her blood levels. She was anemic. You know how dangerous malaria is. I am sorry, but malaria has killed your daughter.
Malaria kills more people in Uganda than any other disease. Protect your loved ones from this enemy. Ensure everyone in your family sleeps under a mosquito net every night, whether it's a cold or hot season, to protect them from malaria. In the event that any of your family members shows malaria signs and symptoms, take them to the nearest health center immediately to prevent complications from malaria that could result into death. Together, we can chase malaria out of Uganda. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Global Fund.
Did you know that you can safely and conveniently make your school fees payments anytime, any school, anywhere using Airtel Money? Oh yes! Simply pick up your phone and dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees. Choose between school pay, peg pay, or shore pay. Enter student number. Enter amount, confirm name and transaction. Enter Airtel Money PIN. A confirmation message will be sent to you upon a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Uganda is a source, transit, and destination for adults and children who are either forced or deceived into forced labor, organ harvest, sacrifice, and commercial exploitation. Trafficking in persons is a serious crime and gross violation of human rights. Report suspects of trafficking in persons to police for investigation and prosecution. Suspects are either close friends or relatives. Victims of trafficking are not criminals and need protection. This message is brought to you by the Coordination Office for Prevention of Trafficking in Persons, Ministry of Internal Affairs.
Welcome back. You're still watching Eastern Night. The construction of a docking site for the newly procured Kampala landing ferry by government to ease water transport challenges in Kabiramaido district is nearing completion. A team of officials from the Office of the President on a tour to monitor the implementation of the 2021-25 NRM manifesto were impressed with the ongoing works by UNRA to fix water transport challenges in Kabiramaido, which is part of the promises made in the NRM manifesto to extend better services to the people.
In this building constructed in 1958, there lies this shrine-like small room, which many refers to as the Office of the Resident District Commissioner for Kabiramaido District.
We may not take the cow, we will take her.
Depredated as it is, IPO Claire has sat in this room for close to 15 years.
You, the DCs and your deputies.
Our office, like the office space and the office structure, yes, it may not be in a good shape, but the presidency has earmarked Kabiramaido district for a new office. And we have already received technical officers from Ministry of Works. They've already assessed the building and they've already assessed the new site.
During their visit in the district, officials from the Office of the President were left speechless about the status of this office.
The ones they are occupying now was 5 years ago condemned. It's not a building fit for human occupation. I think the Office of the President is working tirelessly on getting them. They already have land now, so the construction will soon start.
Away from the RDC's office, the good news in the area is that the construction of the docking pad at a Kampala landing site on the shores of Lake Victoria is in an advanced stage.
Whereas we have done almost 85%, what is left on the landscaping?
Yes, landscaping is remaining. Then, as you see, to dump here stones, I think like 120 meters. Yeah. So far, we are done with the main gate that you have seen, guard house, where people will be registering, and it is 100% done. Then the toilet block, 100% done. The waiting shed is also done. So we are waiting with and this is the access road, as you see. Vehicles will be coming, board off from there, registration, easing, then they wait for the ferry. They some restaurant here, they have something to eat.
Kabiramaido there used to be a big ferry there which used to connect to Masindi Port. Now this one, which is connects to Namayingo, is going to ease the travel either to Kampala for those communities to go to Kampala.
The pad is part of the promises pegged into the 2021-2026 manifesto by the NRM government.
I want to thank His Excellency Yoweri Museveni on behalf of the people of Kabaramaido. From the time this ferry was promised, it has now taken like 3 years from the time it was promised. Remember, this district used to have a ferry which used to connect to Masindi Port. It used to be an industrious area. So the coming of this ferry is going to rejuvenate the business system in this place. More so, it is going to ease transportation of both people and goods across to Kampala side.
Other fulfilled pledges going on in the district is the refurbishment of health centers, Kabaramaido Technical Center, construction of city schools, among others. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
We apologize for that. Business owners along Magambo Street in Fort Portal City are counting substantial losses following a nightmare fire that destroyed property worth millions of shillings. The cause of the fire, which began at midnight, is yet to be determined. Property, including grain milling machines, maize grain and flour, granite milling machines and more, were reduced to ashes. Some items were stolen during the firefighting operation. This is the second fire incident in Fort Portal in just 2 weeks, following a similar incident in Kisenyi last week, resulting in significant property damage. Affected business owners and market leaders are now urging government to provide assistance through Ministry of Disaster Preparedness to help them recover this disaster.
For example, nambere tunihina nambe gutandikira hari ebyoma by'obungu. You might find out a short circuit in the Kintiona, but the fire brigade will try to find out Chikinya provider. But we don't know. Or we don't know several way to our business owners, more especially temporary structures, in the machines, who are no possibility at least, woman which you know, switching off.
Kumanya ibintu byona bifwire kandi twinamo abantu bina loni twina maloni gabandi aturukumanya tukasura tusaba government iteke obuli bwa fire brigade kwikali standby abwo kuba obagiterire etwire ubwire kesaheme takayikiro abanyingi muno ambaho za shera kimwe bima byabyo bya shera kimwe mbizire Minister Alice Kaboyo yabirukira nakasente cyamara biro bitayito mu rwanga kwa yakahenyi yaho icoka kenyini opposite naho naho abantu bafire ibintu byabo bingi muno sente nyingi muno.
State Minister for Veteran Affairs, Rhoda Ngonzi, has called upon both locals and district leaders in refugee hosting districts to allocate more land to support refugees in their efforts for food production. The minister emphasized that this move aims at enhancing peaceful coexistence between refugees and the host communities as the primary disruptor of peace in these areas, the primary disruptor of peace in these areas is hunger.
Huda Oleru, the State Minister for Defence responsible for veteran affairs, disclosed that districts like Yumbe still have parcels of untapped land that refugees can utilize for their agricultural needs.
Because of the global challenges, the funds that have been given to the donors have been reduced. That means that we must now make these refugees self-reliant. And for them to provide the food, the districts that are hosting them and the neighboring districts that have land, we give them the free land that we are not being used, especially here in Yumbe. Since there are some lands here, since the Crescent, nobody has touched them.
She highlighted that insufficient food is a key factor contributing to insecurity within these communities.
And indeed, food insecurity is the biggest insecurity. It is more than gun.
Godfrey Mawadri, a project coordinator for the Rural Initiative for Community Empowerment in West Nile, explained the critical importance of fostering peaceful coexistence between refugees and local populations within a nation.
Every group that we have formed here in Bidibidi settlement, mixed group. This is to bring the element of peaceful coexistence, and throughout our project period of the first year, the mixed groups have performed much better than groups that are not mixed refugees and hosts. They're able to share things together, they're able to share ideas.
Mohammad Bagu, the chairperson LC3 for Romoji sub-county, assured refugees that they have secured 600 acres of land for farming.
Right now, as I'm talking, we have requested and right agreements for 620 acres of land. And in the agreement, there is a stand of 5 years for these refugees to work in this land, and it is renewable.
Betty Alioru, the Assistant Settlement Commandant at Bidibidi, affirmed that the government provides an enabling environment for refugees and locals to coexist harmoniously.
So being together like this, sharing together our ideas, how we can tackle challenges. There are many huge challenges in the settlement, in particular for the refugees. Government itself provides peace, so that is very paramount.
Minister Oleru similarly urged communities living along the borders of Uganda and South Sudan to refrain from land conflicts, such as the recent one along Uganda's border with South Sudan in Moyo district.
We're even aware that these borders have been created by the colonials for their own interest. We are one people. So why should we continue to insist because of these imaginary borders that you cannot even touch?
I'm Nafka Farida and Joseph Odama.
The Registrar's Department at Makerere University is taking a significant step towards improving records management by digitizing the records system. The project to digitize academic records and processes was officially launched by the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, at the University Senate building, marking a major milestone for the institution.
Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, the Vice-Chancellor of Makerere University, inaugurated the modern record storage facility at the University's Senate building. He emphasized the importance of the digitization project, considering it a significant achievement for the university.
It is going to help us to digitalize all our records so that we do not depend on the paper files anymore. We are going to store these paper files very well again through this project, so that in case for any reason you want to refer to the paper file, they will still be there, they will be safe, they are protected against fire and other dangers. But the most important thing is that it is going to help us digitalize all the files right from 1922, so that any student who comes here, it doesn't matter when they started here, we can very quickly retrieve their information in minutes. It's unlike what students would come and spend here whole days or several weeks coming up and down because the people are still looking for the file.
Previously, the university grappled with manual record-keeping methods, which not only consumed a substantial amount of space, but also proved unreliable in cases of disasters like fires.
I know for sure that one time, you remember when we had a disaster. I call it a disaster because it bordered on to the security fiber of the academic records. And of course, the disaster recovery was a bit expensive. If all records had been digitized, I think we would not be at any panic. So personally, I'm happy that this project is going to eliminate, of course, the need for a lot of physical storage space of our academic records, which has been the biggest challenge, and enhance our efficiency.
Patience Ruawinda, the principal investigator of the project, initiated the idea to address the need for proper records management.
And when I came in, I started working in records. And while in records, I realized that we had a lot of challenges. One, we had manual processes. For instance, if you came to certify your document, we would ask for your file transcript, and then we take that transcript, the certificate office, to confirm in the graduation booklet to know the date or the year of graduation. We had the files which were piled all over in people's offices. The space was not enough.
In the past, we used to look for documents. Students can come here looking for their transcripts, documents, academic documents, but they cannot access them. But now, the documentation is digitalized, and that is where we are going.
Funding for the digitization project comes through the Makerere University Research and Innovations Fund, fully financed by government. The fund aims to facilitate impactful innovations that provide solutions to community challenges. Adia Nakute, UBC.
And during the official launch of the African Congress for Architecture Students Conference at the International University of East Africa in Kansanga, Kampala, Professor Jose Manuel Pages Madrigo, the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, expressed the significance of this event for students across Africa. Professor Jose Manuel Pages Madrigo emphasized how this conference would provide a valuable opportunity for African students to connect with professionals in the field. He believes that such interactions
different perspectives of the problem of architecture. I would like to remind even that the closure of this Congress is exactly matching with the International Day of Architecture, which is a celebration in all over the planet. And this is our contribution from Africa for this event. I think it will be really appreciated and recognized not only by the effort of this group of students that they decided in such moment to start with this adventure, but even by all the people around the architecture, at least in this continent.
We started this journey of uniting students so that we can be able to create a community for architecture students to share knowledge, to build commitments, to build connections, and to be able to create a collective development as future architects in Africa. So this is a chance for us to do two things. One thing was to start up a periodic congress, which we hope to happen after different intervals of times. And this is where architecture students can be able to meet maybe once in 3 years to be able to share knowledge, to understand different design approaches on the continent, and to be able to advocate for different issues.
Pay or shop with MTN Momo and get cashback every week. It's free of charge.
Gulu City tujja kutuuka buli wamu gobosaaga.
Tuze kulaba ba merchant si bafaba ab'omugaso ennyo gye tuli abakozesa merchant codes zaffe.
I'm very excited right now.
Very excited.
Yes, you people can't see but I'm very excited.
Kakati wano eggulu tulinawo merchant waffe omu wa Paula restaurant.
When I heard of this promotion, I didn't even think it was true. But I told my clients, if you have Momo, it's better you pay with Momo.
In the morning, I was so scared, but now my temperature is coming down because I've seen you people when you came home. I'm encouraging people, always when there's opportunity for something, participate.
Si byabagagga era abantu baffe betuwadde epikipiki nga 13 eziise bantu baffe ba bulijjo era munnayuganda amanye nti kino ekintu kyaffe ffenna.
Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
The doctor says you are getting better. I have a list of suspects in my file here, but I need you to help me identify the thief who attacked you. This cat thief again.
Malaria is a thief. Don't let it rob you and your loved ones. Prevent it by sleeping under a mosquito net. Clear bushes and all stagnant water around you. If you notice any symptoms, go to a health center near you to test and treat. And ensure to complete your full dose to avoid severe malaria, which could lead to death.
Dear customer, why pay for more when you can only pay for what you use? Enjoy the best value on daily voice bundles now charged per second. For example, if you call for 23 seconds using our 25-minute Bona bundles, only 23 seconds of that call will be charged, leaving you with 24 minutes and 37 seconds to talk longer with your loved ones. Dial *100*1# to buy a daily voice bundle today. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Let's talk business. Buganda Kingdom has made a significant investment in the initial public offering IPO of Airtel Uganda, solidifying its enduring strategic partnership with the telecom giant and seizing an opportunity to participate in Uganda's thriving telecommunications sector.
The decade-long collaboration between Buganda Kingdom and Airtel continues to strengthen and expand. This is evident through the Kingdom's decision to invest in the IPO of this telecommunications company.
The Airtel IPO is intended to allow Ugandans to share in the success that they have supported us to build this Airtel brand in Uganda. We are truly humbled by the confidence the Buganda Kingdom has shown in us by purchasing into the Airtel IPO.
Manoj Murali, the managing director of Airtel Uganda, expressed gratitude for Buganda Kingdom's unwavering support of the Kingdom's initiative, with particular emphasis on the success of the annual Kabaka birthday run. We started working with Airtel Uganda 10 years ago when they supported us and finally became the sponsors of the Kabaka birthday run. We like Airtel because they also like what we like. Charles Peter Maiga, the Premier of Buganda Kingdom, lauded Airtel for their steadfast support and encouraged the public to participate in the IPO. He emphasized the importance of making well-informed investment decisions. The IPO is when a private company or entity sells its shares to the public. Airtel is growing, and it's time for the public to share the success of the company. To show our support for the initiative, Buganda Kingdom is going to purchase shares as well. During the event held at Mengo Bulange, Katikiro Peter Maiga pledged to acquire 2 million shares on behalf of Buganda Kingdom.
We are currently the co-leader in the market with 49% revenue market share and 47.3% subscriber market share respectively.
Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
Meanwhile, car importers in Uganda find themselves in a predicament as incoming stock faces uncertainty due to the suspension of the pre-export verification of conformity program. Contracts of service providers have expired, leading to UNBS taking over the inspection of imported vehicles. This unexpected shift has left dealers in a state of uncertainty, resulting in stalled and sluggish business operations.
Uganda National Bureau of Standards had previously informed used motor vehicle dealers, importers, and the general public that as of September 1st, 2021, all certificates of roadworthiness and the validity of CRWs was typically provided by UNBS-appointed agents for pre-export verification of conformity. Currently, there is no inspection company in operation as UNBS suspended all service providers due to a lack of necessary requirements for the job.
Our concerns to UNBS, but up to now, they have not responded in any way. We are praying that they find a solution very soon, because many of our cars at the port, other than in the yards. If we miss the bookings on the ship, it means we shall pay a penalty.
Chairman Kamumvi Charles expressed the concerns of car dealers, emphasizing that the suspended inspection companies were not competent for the task. He highlighted their financial losses and the potential revenue loss for the country as cars in various countries remain uninspected, contravening shipping regulations. He also mentioned their reluctance to pay penalties and additional charges, prompting them to seek assistance from the relevant ministry, given that UNBS has yet to offer a solution.
Some cars are brought in uninspected, you pay $140, then the UNBS clears you. But that's not right. The right procedure should be you buy a car, it is inspected and then brought to Uganda. It also helps us as importers. We get good quality cars as expected.
Muhammad Hassan of Jan Japan added that they faced challenges since they had booked numerous vehicles, some of which are 2008 models. As of January 2024, Uganda will no longer permit the importation of cars from 2008 or earlier, further complicating their situation.
More than 10,000 vehicles in Japan stranded. For them, we don't have any plans to load them, when to load them, how to do it. Should we load it with inspection? Should we load it without inspection? So
Ghana National Bureau of Standards for an update on the matter were unsuccessful as both car dealers and the inspection program face uncertainty. Crispus Arenitwe, Jamil Sekaja, UBC News.
Now in sports, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has officially chosen the collaborative East African bid of Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania to host the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON. This announcement came during a Wednesday meeting of the Executive Committee with CAF President Patrice Motsepe making the declaration. The East Africa Pamoja bid prevailed over strong competition from Senegal, Egypt and Botswana. This decision not only grants hosting rights but also automatically qualifies the three East African nations for the 2027 AFCON.
It's 2027, it's on. Now here we are. Following must be done. First, in my considered opinion, we have to begin preparing a strong team. We should be able to be ready to compete at that elite level. Secondly, there are a few things which we must do, specifically infrastructure, completion of Nambore, that one is on course, H4 is on course, so we're planning in 1 or 2 additional facilities which will help us to have the best tournament ever in Africa. And it's
that the dream has come true. It is one thing to take Uganda to the Africa Cup of Nations, it's one thing to bring the Africa Cup of Nations to Uganda. And we have achieved both. I would like to thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, the Minister in charge of sports, the leadership, Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, the entire House, and every Ugandan in their different capacities who have believed in this cause. As the three presidents of the East African nations in football, we decided to go and discuss with our governments, and our governments have listened to us. They have supported us, and they have assured us that we shall host the most successful AFCON in the modern times.
It's a shared victory for everybody. For whoever has been behind this, those who have sent us prayers, all the stakeholders, the three governments of Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania that gave us the government commitment as CAF required it, the investors, that put the facilities in place, the Parliament of Uganda that gave us 97 billion to work on Nambole Stadium. We are so much grateful, and we must say thank you everybody. As the FUFA, as Uganda, we are saying thank you everybody, and we are so grateful. We can't wait as East Africa to receive the whole of Africa here.
Well, that does it for news tonight. Elizabeth Nakakoni on sign language. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Do stick around.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Uncle, you should see London.
Oh, my boy. This has been 5 years. You should see Uganda.
Yes. Uncle Marcus, that's my former school.
Soon, there will be more than 1 million children learning like this for free.
Thank you, Uganda, for imagining it with us and making us the fastest growing telecom in the country over the past 5 years.
I got it. What do you mean you got it? Have you won a lottery?
Yes, this is kind of like a lottery to me.
Let me see. But these are your receipts now.
Yes, exactly my point. See, I had tax areas that had accumulated for a while now, and I was burdened by the penalties and the interest. But guess what? All I had to do was to pay my principal tax, and now I'm free.
What?
Yes.
How? I mean, it's impossible.
It is possible. The government has done it. Yes, the government has given a chance to all taxpayers to pay their outstanding principal tax that accrued until 30th of June with no interest or penalties.
But now they're really
imagine, yes. So yeah, all you have to do is simply pay your principal tax and enjoy the waiver on penalties and interest. And this goes up to the end of December 2023.
How do I do that to also enjoy the waiver?
All you have to do is simply pay your principal tax to benefit from waiver on interests and penalties that runs till end of December 2023. Pay your outstanding principal tax using the available payment channels, or simply dial *285# or visit the nearest URA office for guidance before 31st December 2023. Remember, this chance comes only once.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
I wish you maintain that same effort, protect you and your family from that very dangerous ship that attacks you every night. And if you don't take action soon, it may cost your life or even your pregnant wife to lose her baby.
Wapi, with all these original padlocks and my maguja, no thief can make an attempt to break in.
Simon, you and your wife are always in and out of the hospital almost every month. And it's that dangerous thief that you are not yet safe from. You're lucky that for now, it's only robbing you, mind.
Malaria is a thief. Don't let it rob you and your loved ones. Prevent it by sleeping under a mosquito net every night. For pregnant women, go for antenatal care and get your Fancida medicine to protect you and your unborn baby from malaria.
Nibanyita kana nyita says Nwagaba, commercial officer, Abantungamo district government.
I am Sez Nwagaba, the commercial officer for Ntungamo local government. I express my gratitude to God for this platform and the Emyuga initiative brought to us by His Excellency Yoweri Museveni, as it has positively transformed the lives of the people in Ntungamo, whom I have known for a long time. When you visit the beneficiaries of this program, you can easily witness the significant positive changes in their lives. The audit report demonstrates that despite their leader being deaf and blind, profits are being made, highlighting how this program has actively engaged and evolved every individual. Initially, we received 2,650 million Uganda shillings. Each constituency received 530 million Uganda shillings. I would like to express my gratitude to this platform for providing us with the opportunity to share information about the Imyoga program. Our special thanks go to the President for initiating the program, and additionally, I would like to mention that there are numerous similar projects in Rubare and Ntungamo.
Uganda is independent.
The 9th of October is a special day in Uganda. We remember our past, celebrate our present, and dream of a brighter future. It is a day to celebrate independence with pride and confidence. The 61st Independence Day celebrations under the theme Sustaining a United and Progressive Nation, Taking Charge of Our Future as a Nation, will take place in Kitgum District on Monday, 9th October 2023.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Hello our viewers, welcome to Super Soul Sisters. I am so glad you are able to join us today. My name is Lona Kasasa Jemima, and with me I have a very special Super Soul.
I was always a fighter, regardless of whatever